Today we're back on the Am I the A-hole subreddit, and it's going to be so fun. As it always is, I'm sure it's going to be a roller coaster of a video. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited, and thank you for joining me. Enjoy, guys. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband and his family not to call me a nickname? So my name is Lucy, 28 female. My husband, 31 male, has always been super fond of nicknames and has given me plenty of them. They constantly change and I've never minded any of the ones that he's given me before. They're all quite harmless, usually food or animal related, but they tend to stick for a while. His family also uses nicknames. They occasionally give me one too. It's often the same one my husband uses if it isn't too sappy. Again, I don't mind them. In fact, I usually find it quite cute and endearing until recently. My husband started calling me Lulu. Let me give you the context. I was called Lulu growing up exclusively by my mother, and she passed away not long before I met my husband. I took her loss pretty hard. I told him that it has a lot of emotional significance for me and that it doesn't feel right to hear anyone else say it. He respected that for years and so did his family, but recently his sister has been referring to me as a Lulu whenever I wasn't there, according to what I've been told. Why? And I guess he naturally picked up on it. It's irritating because it's not like he forgot about my reasons behind it. He'll hesitate before saying it. I've reminded him calmly a couple of times that I would appreciate he not call me that. There's plenty of other things I don't mind him calling me. Nothing that had emotional weight. The other day he said that he didn't see the big deal anymore. Wow, how dare you, dude? It had been some years and I should be over it by now. That it's just a nickname. Yeah, but why the hell would you call one of your loved ones something that they've repeatedly told you they don't like and they're not comfortable with? Like, why do you even want to call them this so bad? He said it lightly, like he was trying to let me down easy, but it stung. Maybe I overreacted, but I was hurt by it. I packed a bag and I'm currently staying with my sister. He and his family texted me saying that I'm doing a lot over a little nickname, and I'm thinking maybe they're right. I want to get past this because it feels pretty petty at this point. Am I the a-hole? Well, if it's so insignificant, why don't you stop calling them this? Like, what's the husband doing? Stop calling them something they're not happy with. Like, they're literally calling them something that they've asked them not to many times, and they're getting upset at them. How dare you, dude? Yeah, like the top comment says, not the a-hole. If nicknames aren't a big deal, then why can't he let this one drop? Why do he and his family have to keep the one nickname that causes you pain? Why isn't that a big deal? You're the person who gets to decide when you're over your mother's death, not him. Yeah, 1,000,000%, and you're not wrong for feeling this way, and that's not something that you have to get over either. You don't have to ever be comfortable with somebody calling you this. The husband and the family need to get a grip and have some respect. Am I the a-hole for giving my future mother-in-law 3 days to pay me for a new wedding dress, or else I show the family a photo of her wearing it? So, I'm getting married to my fiance soon. I bought a wedding dress weeks ago. My future mother-in-law kept pestering me about trying it on, but I firmly refused. I finally shut it down after she offered me $100 to let her try it on. Her reasoning for persisting so much? She says it's because of her love for wedding dresses and her obsession with them. Fast forward to yesterday, I came home from work early and I found my fiance at home. He freaked out after seeing me and tried to prevent me from going into my room while trying to text somebody on his phone. I opened the door and I was shocked to see his mum standing there wearing my dress. I instantly pulled out my phone and I took a photo of her in it. She and my fiance freaked out after I told her that she needed to pay me for a new dress in 3 days or I'll show the whole family the photo. She started crying and she left, and my fiance blew up at me saying I can't be serious and that I overreacted because his mum just wanted to try the dress on. No harm done, but I refused to listen to him because in my opinion the dress should only be worn by the bride and the bride only. Quite frankly, I felt disgusted looking at the dress again. I don't want it anymore, and so I think it's fair that she pays me after she ruined it for me. He yelled at me and told me to wake up and stop treating his mum like if she was the enemy. We had a fight after he failed to get me to back down, and he's been staying with his mum since then. I felt awful, but I spent $3 grand on this dress and I worked hard to get it. I can't stand looking at it, but people in my family think I'm escalating things and risking my relationship with not only my future mother-in-law, but my fiance as well. Am I the a-hole? Update. Oh my god, this blew up, and so I thought I'd add some updates. My fiance called and offered to pay for the dress himself so we can end the conflict, but he wants me to hand him my phone so he can delete the photo himself, swear that I don't have any copies to use against his mum later, apologize to his mum, and Lastly, he asked that I quit the family group chat and log out of Facebook for at least a month. I haven't responded yet. P.S. He called with his offer and conditions hours ago, but I didn't want to include this in the post, but now I did. Also, I'm not sure if I'll agree because I don't want him to pay for it. I want his mum, the one who wore it, to pay for it. Not being vicious, but I'm trying to hold her accountable. Yeah, 100%. You should not be apologizing to them. They should be apologizing to you. And yeah, they do need to be held accountable for this. And the fiance as well. Talk about not respecting your boundaries. They're 100% in the wrong for this as well. They went behind their back and let their mum do this. And now they're trying to get them to apologize to their mum. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole, but the problem isn't your future mother-in-law, it's your fiance. He let her in. He was gonna lie and hide from you that she tried it on. He's defending her actions and he disrespected your belongings. He didn't care about your feelings and still doesn't. He's shown that he doesn't care about your boundaries. He decided that his mother wanted to try it on and decided that was more important than your feelings. And that's not gonna go away when you're married. Yeah, like I don't want to speak on somebody else's marriage, but there's some pretty serious red flags here. Am I the a-hole because I got my daughter an $80 dress? My family just got back from a week-long cruise and there's still some tension about this. My wife and I took our 20-year-old son, 16-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son, and 7-year-old son. Our oldest spent most of his time on the vacation doing his own thing, having breakfast and dinner with the family, but being seldom seen otherwise. My wife and I enjoyed spending time with our kids, but we also did some couples activities. There are clubs on the boat for kids, and our 13-year-old really enjoyed them, but our 7-year-old didn't and kept wanting to spend the day with his sister, who had given carte blanche to do her own thing as long as she ate with us, and answered when we messaged her. She was a good sport and took our little brother on most of her adventures, swimming with him, taking him to trivia and doing the animation classes with him. I felt like this was sweet of her and it showed a great deal of maturity. The second to last day of the cruise, I took her to the gift shop and I told her to pick out whatever she wanted as thanks for looking after her brother. She was so excited and ended up picking out a dress. The dress was $80. She wore it to dinner that night, and when she told her mum I bought it for her, my wife gave me a weird look. After dinner, she asked me why the hell I did that. I explained that it was a reward for looking after her brother. She said we can't buy an $80 dress for our daughter and nothing for our sons. I said we didn't get them nothing. We took them on a cruise. My wife said that I'm an idiot. I don't think so. We got some trinkets for the younger boys, about $20 worth of stuff. My wife thinks I messed up and said I should apologize to the boys. I refused. We took our adult son on a vacation that cost thousands of dollars. He's got no reason to resent his sister being rewarded for being thoughtful. If we got our 7-year-old and 13-year-old a really expensive souvenir, it would probably be lost or broken. She still thinks I was an a-hole though. Clarification, a lot of commenters seem to think that we asked our daughter to babysit her brother. That's not really the case. What kept on happening was that she'd tell us her plans for the day, and our 7-year-old would say that he'd rather do that than go to the kids club, and she would agree to let him come with her. So it was more of her being just a nice sister than actual babysitting. She always had the ability to drop him off at the club. That's why I wanted to reward her, because I thought it was so sweet of her not to do that and to make her brother feel good about his cool older sister that actually wanted to hang out with him. Yeah, definitely not the a-hole like the top comment says. Green flag, green flag. What a thoughtful way to acknowledge your daughter. You're right, your 20-year-old son got a free vacation, as did your 13-year-old and your 7-year-old. Your daughter graciously did a service for the family. Not the a-hole. Your wife doesn't seem to want to recognize that your 16-year-old daughter is not the built-in babysitter. What extra service did her brothers do to warrant extra gifts? At least she didn't make a scene in front of your daughter and addressed it with you privately. I just read your edit. I think I like your daughter even more. No one asked her to watch her brother. She was just nice enough not to say no when he said he wanted to hang out with her. Am I the a-hole for always turning down hangouts with my friends when they're asked to bring their kids? I have a friend group of 7 women from uni. I'm the only one that's child-free, but 1 is childless, 2 are pregnant with their first, and 3 have kids. We as a group rarely meet up. I've seen all of them maybe twice in the last year, and we all live in the same city. Every time someone asks to meet up and we finally find a date, everyone is available. One of the mums always asks if they can bring their child or children. It's usually 1 or 2 mums, as the third actually wants to have a kid-free evening, and before anyone else can even answer, the other mums all say yes. All 3 mums have husbands who can watch their kids, but somehow they never manage to find someone who can babysit, as they call it. So at this point, I've stopped answering until they set a time and a place. Someone has asked about kids and I say I can't make it. I hang out with them one-on-one or in a smaller group instead. Well, a few days ago, we agreed to finally meet up. No one had asked about kids and we were having a barbecue and a wine night. Well, who shows up with their 8-year-old? Yeah, one of the mums. I didn't hide my my annoyance, and one of the girls asked me why. I just waved it off, and 30 minutes later I excused myself and left, said I didn't feel well. In those 30 minutes we hadn't had any adult talk. We were just entertaining the kid. I'd rather go home than do this for another 3 or 4 hours. After I left, I think they realized that this was a pattern, and I got a text from most of the girls in the group, some calling me an a-hole, others just saying they were annoyed at me for leaving, with the third mum having my back, and asked to meet up later in the week to have a proper wine night. I don't hate kids at all. I work with them every day, and I don't want to spend my time off relaxing with friends, having to entertain other people's kids again. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole. You're having a wine night. You don't bring your kids to this. Yeah, like the top comment says, not the a-hole. Wine night with friends from college pretty definitely means no children. But yeah, if you weren't straight up rude to them, I don't think you're the a-hole. It's pretty a-holey of them to message you and call you an a-hole. Am I the a-hole for saying again after my sister announced that she's pregnant with twins? My 21 female sister, 32 female, has been married to her husband, 33 male, for 8 years. They already have 6 kids total, the last one born 5 months ago. Yesterday, my sister had announced that she's 3 months pregnant with twins, and while everyone was congratulating her, I said out loud, "Oh my god, again? Can't your stupid husband leave you alone?" I didn't mean to say it out loud, but it slipped out, and my sister looked at me angrily, and she literally dragged me into another room and asked, "Why the hell did you say that?" I told her that she and her husband have been pregnant every year for the last 8 years, and that she needs to take a break. I was worried about her having so many babies in such a short time, and I didn't want anything bad happening to her. She then said, "How about you leave us alone and worry about your own crap? This is my life, so F off." My mother told me that I should apologize for being rude, but I told her that I won't apologize for showing concern. But now I just can't help thinking that maybe I was being an a-hole and sticking my nose into other people's business. I was just worried, but maybe I was being a jerk. What? Is this one for real? Yeah, like the top comment says, "You the a-hole." I said out loud, "Oh my god, again?" Rude behavior, but somewhat understandable. Can't your stupid husband leave you alone? What's wrong with you? You said this out loud and you still think you may not be the a-hole? Get out of here with that nonsense. Edit, yes, I do babysit my sister's kids sometimes, and all 6 of them at the same time whenever they need me to and I'm available. They pay me 30 to 50 an hour, but their kids are pretty destructive and they don't respect other adults like they're supposed to, so it's a full chore watching after them. I'm aware that the stupid husband comment was inappropriate, but I have almost no filter, and my stupid mouth says stuff before my brain can stop it. Yeah, might have to work on that. And I've seen some comments talk about the ages and assuming that my sister is 21. I'm 21 female, my sister is 32 female, and her husband is 33 male. Update, I apologize to my sister for insulting her husband and making that rude comment, but I told her that I'm still worried about her having so many kids back to back, and that I'm just concerned in general about her health and well-being. She actually forgave me, and she said it's because 1, I'm her younger sister, 2, she knows about my problem with keeping my thoughts to myself, and I am working on myself, and 3, she knows that I'm concerned for her and she appreciates it, but she assured me that she's fine and said that this pregnancy wasn't planned, and her husband plans on getting a vasectomy because they both want this pregnancy to be the last. For those asking in the comments, she and her husband can afford to have kids. He runs a very successful business, and she is still co-partner with her best friend in a company that they both started before she got married. How she manages to juggle being a full-time mum and work there is beyond me, but she does. That's why I babysit sometimes when the nanny isn't available 24/7. Her husband was the only one who initially wanted a big family, and my sister just went along with the idea, but that's their business. Yeah, okay, so obviously you were in the wrong in this situation. It is nice that everything seems to be okay now that you apologized. Yeah, like this comment says, "You the a-hole," but it needed to be said. You're a good a-hole. And yeah, even though in this situation they were wrong, I feel like they're not an a-hole. Am I the a-hole for demanding that my twin sister either changes her lifestyle or make sure that everyone knows that we're 2 separate people? I, 20 female, have an identical twin sister, Emma. We live together in an apartment while away from home for college. We've always been very similar, not just in appearance, but also in the things that we enjoy. As stereotypical with twins, I guess, except for when it comes to relationships. I'm not interested in relationships at all, not emotional nor physical. Emma is the complete opposite. Ever since we started living here, she's been bringing another random guy or girl or both home like every other night. It makes me extremely uncomfortable, but since it's her own life, I don't think I really have any right to judge. Yeah, this is why you don't live with your siblings. The problem is it's really beginning to affect my own life. Not only do I have to listen to her going at it every time, oh god, we have very thin walls, but since we look practically practically the same, and even our names are similar. If her name was Emma, my name would be Amelia. I'm getting attention intended for her as well. She has a reputation with how easy she is to sleep with, and people are approaching me thinking I'm her. My messages on social media are being filled with all kinds of obscene language and nude photos. When I reply saying I'm going to report them, they get confused because of the good time that we had last night. Anytime I meet someone new, they only seem to be talking to me because they think I'm my sister and they want to have some nighttime fun. And as a result, I don't have any friends. I got really fed up with it yesterday, and I told my sister that the way she acts is ruining my life. I told her she either needs to change her lifestyle, somehow make sure that whoever sleeps with her won't bother me, and make it clear to everyone that we're not the same. In response, she told me I need to mind my own business, that I shouldn't be such a prude, and that I could probably use, in her words, some you-know-whatting myself. It kind of escalated from there, resulting in me calling her an S-word, which is definitely an a-hole thing to say, but I lost my cool. Anyway, am I the a-hole for demanding that my sister change her way of living, or otherwise make sure her interaction with people doesn't affect me? No, you're not the a-hole, but you can't keep living together. And yeah, like the top comment says, clearly you and your sister need to stop living together as soon as possible. You don't just have lifestyle differences, you have different values, and you're awfully judgmental towards each other where your values differ. I don't see how you can live comfortably in the same dwelling. I don't think that either of you has to change her ways. What you have to do is find new roommates. There's nothing wrong with the way either of you wants to live. It's a personal decision. What's wrong is that each of you wants the other to adopt something far closer to her own way of life, which isn't gonna happen. Yeah, 100%. Like, the other sister wants them to be more like they are, and obviously the same in reverse. But yeah, that's not gonna happen, and that's only gonna cause more issues in the future. Am I the a-hole for not letting my niece help in the bakery anymore? I, 35 female, own a small bakery. I'm very happy with it, and I'm proud of my work. I have 2 employees who work part-time, and for the most part, it's just me. My sister-in-law approached me at the beginning of summer and asked if I'd let my niece, female 11, help out in the bakery over the school break. She's been getting really into baking and loves watching content creators baking, and was apparently just dying to be able to job shadow or help out in a bakery. I was hesitant, but I said yes, and I hated it. Every single minute that my niece spent in my bakery this summer was the only time that I've ever had any regrets opening my business. Whatever the opposite of helpful was, that was what my niece was. My employees didn't enjoy her being there, and I didn't enjoy her being there at all. We were 3 very grumpy people all summer. I had hopes that she would get better, but she didn't. I thought many times about telling my sister-in-law that she couldn't come back during the summer, but since I'd made the promise, I kept up with it. My sister-in-law stopped by the house yesterday to drop something off for my husband. She told me that my niece had absolutely loved her experience this summer and wanted to know if she could come back a couple of Saturdays a month. I told her that unfortunately that wasn't going to work, and that going forward I didn't think it was a good idea for my niece to help out. I told her it just wasn't productive for us. Yeah, and that's really fair enough. My sister-in-law was unhappy. She told me that my niece had loved her summer at the bakery and was so looking forward to continuing. Yeah, but that doesn't mean they have to. I told her I was sorry, but I had a business to run and I couldn't keep having her help out. This dissolved into a shouting match that my husband eventually broke up. My sister-in-law and mother-in-law have been sending me nasty messages about breaking a girl's heart. My husband said that my niece called him very upset, but he stands by me and understands that I can't let this bring down my workplace. So am I being the a-hole? God, no, you're not being the a-hole. This is your business. It's not their business, and it's not some random thing that you just do for fun. It's your business, and they should be grateful that you let them join with you for summer, and they should be super understanding that you can't do it anymore. The fact that they feel entitled enough to be able to tell you that you should be letting them help out from here on out is, yes, super entitled. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. You run a legitimate business, not a daycare. You're there to make baked goods for customers, not babysit a child who probably shouldn't be there in the first place. And I'll be honest, if I went to a food service place and I saw a child running around behind the counter, I'd probably be taking my business elsewhere. And OP responded to this. Yeah, I agree with you. Me and my employees and I really felt like it destroyed our image a bit, but we're in a smaller town and there are several shops and restaurants around town where that's tolerated, so it's not 100% out of place where we are, but not something I personally like. Yeah, and you shouldn't be made to feel bad because you're not comfortable with this. It's literally completely up to you. And yeah, I feel like that's enough for today, guys. It's wholesome memes time, and I'm so excited. When your grandma's a badass and also loves to crochet. Wow, that is so cool. The top comment says, please credit Stephanie Percorni, the crocheter who made this. Her name is on one of these photos, but it's easy to miss. She's designed a lot of cool crochet costumes and garments. I'm in a Facebook group with her, and she's amazingly talented. Gonna tell y'all what I can hear now that I've got my hearing aids. Birds, they chirp, and it's so beautiful. Faraway cow moos. My friend has this in his backyard, and to say I cried is an understatement. My best friend's singing voice, chickens, chicken noise, and me sobbing. The filter for my fish tank, bubble, bubble, bubble. Wow, that's so beautiful. I probably take them for granted because I hear beautiful stuff every single day. But yeah, wow, there are some really beautiful sounds in the world. That's so awesome. Ludwig on Twitter. I gave a random small streamer $1,000 as part of my most recent YouTube video, and I woke up to this email from his mum. Hey there, this is Jack's mum. I had to reach out and thank you for making his day, in brackets life. He woke up this morning and told me his life had changed. He has 3 older brothers who are equally as happy as Jack is. He's the most genuine kid, and what you see is what you get with him. The minute Jack started playing video games, he's wanted to write or stream or be a YouTuber. I think he's on the right path. Thank you for helping make a 16-year-old kid's dream come true. Wow, that's so awesome. Yeah, wow, so wholesome. And once again, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And the comment of the day today goes to Cue the Polar Bears Animation 135. Day 3 of saying good morning until Vincey makes me the comment of the day. Good morning, everyone. And would you look at that, you're the comment of the day. Thank you for watching, and also thank you for commenting. It means so much to me, guys. I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, the support from you guys is unbelievable. Genuinely the best job ever. And yeah, let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? Make sure you look after yourself, and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!